Hello, my name is Josie Raw, and who knows what I'm doing here today?
SEO. Marketing.
A little, well, they kind of get attached to both of them, right? So what I specialize on is on technical optimization for business, which is a big word, but it really isn't. It's going to squeak a little bit, apparently. It's one of those days. Okay, so who in here doesn't know what SEO is? I just saw it.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna have to start. This really sucks for me. This is what happens when I go in and out.
Leave the board there. Yeah, just leave the board. Okay. We'll start at the gossip shakes. Yeah.
Why does it make so much noise?
Some WD-40. Okay. Tell me when.
Did you see the board at all?
Yeah, I see
Okay,
it. Just
perfect.
angle it a little bit more this
Yeah.
way. And then if that's where you're staying, I'll angle the camera to you.
And you know what we could do too? We could add, maybe, is there a way to add the PowerPoint later? In the background?
No, it's not a big deal. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Just let me know.
I think we're gonna have to zoom in off on that one.
Okay, you do what you do.
Yeah, because I think it zooms in too much. Okay, we're back.
Okay, alright.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. Hello, my name is Josie Raw, and I'm here because I do technical optimization for business. And who in here knows what is SEO? Oh, it doesn't know. I think someone asked me. You don't know? How about you? You don't know? Okay. It's really simple, really. It's search engine optimization. So practically search engine optimization. And what that means is it is how business and people find you. If you have a business or if you are an actor in this case, that's how they are going to find you. That's how you become visible to the world, whether it's on a local level or whether it's in a national level or whether it's worldwide level. So you might ask what this is all important, right? So who in here has issues with, they have a website and yes, and you might already carry a type of SEO in your website, right? Most people do. You know, most people buy either GoDaddy SEO or Rank Math or Just for SEO. And those are very important to have actually attached to your website. However, the technical part of it is the boring part, okay? So let's think of SEO as this. Think of it as this is the website, you know, this is the World Wide Web, right? And think of it as like, it's a big city, right? And here is, somewhere around here is you, right? And how do you, this is your business, right? So think of it as this is the web, and how do you make people see you, right? Like they can't really see you because there's so much going on, right? And out of all of these people, they also do very similar things. So let's say that this is a toy store and this is a toy store, and over here is another toy store, and this one is also a toy store. And they have bigger billboards, right? And better names to themselves. So how do you make sure that they actually see you? Okay, so in a regular world, you will do maybe a big flashy light saying welcome, open. You will put maybe some balloons here, some other signs, right? So if when people are walking, they're like, oh, look, balloons and pretty things around it. And maybe that's a toy store that I'm gonna go to, right? But what happens when you don't do that, right? Like this doesn't guarantee they're gonna stop, but this is going to guarantee that at least they're gonna look at you, correct? So the importance of that is if you, so think about this, if you stop doing this, if you only do the balloons once in a while or one time during your grand opening, and you're at this tiny little small business in this big old city, right, you're gonna go out of business because you're not doing anything to maintain people wanting to go to you. Okay, that you have to be able to be visible constantly. It never stops. Okay, so with that, we're going to move to, if I can get it right. We're actually going to move, whoops, put it backwards here. We're actually going to move to, I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do to optimize your website as an actor. Now, you can, if you're not an actor and you have a business, or you are an actor and you also have a business, this goes for anybody. It really is just take it and apply it to whatever you need to apply it to. So we're gonna go through 3 of them, okay? And the first one, okay, when people see your page, okay, as an actor, and this actually is more for actors, if not necessarily for other businesses, but for an actor, it would be you optimize your bio, optimize bio. Now, how would you optimize your bio? Does anybody have any idea? Keywords. So you're gonna need keywords. You're gonna need keywords. What does that mean?
Like what you specifically do, female voice actor or actor or.
Correct. So it will be something like you are a voice actor. You are an actor, okay? You are, let's see, what do I have here? A performer. And what else do you need there? So I believe that early on today, we actually learned from Andrea Courtney, that we also actually learned from Andrea Courtney that it is very important for you to have that theater background. If you do have a background on theater, you really have to put that in your bio. Managers like it, and the industry likes it. So theater, we're gonna add theater, right? Among other keywords. These are like your basic, well-known that you have keywords. And sorry. This is a little bit longer than I expect. Okay, so what are you gonna do with these ones? Keep it short, very short. So when you go to a website, how many of you actually know how much time you have for people to want to look at your website?
Less than 1.
Okay, very close, right? So ideally, yes, it's 2 seconds, okay? So here it goes. You go 1 second, of loading that web page, and that's a different section, it's good. When you hit 2 seconds, it's still very good. When you hit 2.5, that's the maximum you want to do for your page to load. So if someone goes to your bio, and this goes for actors, right? So you send an email out, and you're not going to direct them. And remember this, you're not going to redirect them straight to your homepage. Okay, you're going to redirect them to your bio. Okay, your homepage will look different than your bio. Okay, that bio page better load in less than maximum 2.5 seconds. 2.5 seconds pass, and it drops, and it drops, and it drops. By the time you get to 3.5, pretty much most people have moved on. Okay, so with that in mind, don't put a long video within your bio. You can put it in your homepage, but within your bio, the managers are just gonna go in and look at what you do. It should be a different type of listing. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. Okay, good. So now we move into keep it short. So for example, you will say something more like, hi, Amy Sanchez, a professional film and television actor based in Kittyland with over 20 years of experience. Then you say you feature your films. You know, if you have 20 years of experience, make sure you're featuring your films, your work, but not a lot. This is just, it should be a few phrases, okay? Because within that page, you're gonna have your bullet points of all the stuff that you have worked on. Okay, start with the most relevant and then finish with it. Sometimes you don't even have to put, you know, if you did something for somebody 20 years or 10 years ago, that it was very, very small and it was very local and they're not even on business anymore, don't put it there. You know, just because people are gonna be like, oh, did she do this for, you know, this person, this business voiceover? And then they looked at that business and then they realized that there's no such thing, right? Then it doesn't look good for you. So that's what we have. And then, so you keep it short, 2 paragraphs most, and then both of them have to be short, okay? Because you want to have enough keywords, but enough information for people to want to stay and then go to the different sections of your site. Question.
Is there a maximum amount of keywords that will start to slow it down?
So okay, that's a very good question. So keywords doesn't slow down your website. What it does do, okay, and this is very important, what it does do is that when Google, Bing, and other search engines go in, okay, it's going to look at it as like a stuffing. Okay, so stuffing, you can think of it as you have a bag. Okay, and then in this bag, you're gonna have, let's make the bag a little bit smaller. In this bag, you're gonna have your keywords. Say that you are repeating one keyword over and over and over again. Very, very careful, think about this, right? So you might wanna be tempted to say actor 100 times in your webpage, so you're thinking, oh yes, this way they know I'm an actor, right? Like, yay. So you put actor, 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 actor. Would you look at something that is overflowing and then you can't even tell what it is? right? You don't want to go into that bag because you don't know what's in there. So when Google, Bing, and other crawlers come in, they don't see your webpage. I want you to think of like, when we say crawling, it literally means crawling your webpage, which means that it reached a language, right? So when your webpages crawl, it's not looking at the pretty pictures of you being the actor, actress, right? It's not looking at this, okay? It's not looking at anything else, but it's gonna look more like this. So now they're looking at codes, okay? So what happens is that if they see actor 100 times on your bio, that's called stuffing. It doesn't like it because it comes across as you're not a legit business, which it comes across as you might not be a legit actor, right? So stuffing is like a real thing. And this can be applied for pretty much anything. So be tactful of how you use, for example, how many times you use actor. You know, if you say, you know, I'm an actor, don't say I'm an actor again 3 times in the same sentence or in the same paragraph. Okay, and that's what's the magic of keeping your bio kind of short and it's just straight to the point. Okay, people don't want to read all the fluffy stuff. They want to read what has substance.
Those
Question.
rules only apply to one page. Like say, if you had multiple pages on your site, if you said it on the one page, could you say it again on a different page? Or do you not want to?
Yes, you could, but then again, on that section is the same thing.
Okay.
However, don't try to put it too much. It has to be relevant to what you're talking about in that specific page. Okay, if it's not relevant, it's going to look like, is this person real? Is this business real? Right? Now, this is a good example of what I mean. Sometimes it does depend. Okay? So let's just take an example of something that we all eat. Let's get out of the actors' thing to see if this comes more clear to you guys. So a pizza place, a pizza restaurant, what do they sell? Pizza. They sell pizza, people, right? So they're gonna have a menu. They're gonna have on their website. They're gonna be like, you know, here we are Tony's Pizza. Here's our story on our front page, right? And they're not gonna be talking about pizza on the front page necessarily. They might have a pizza picture, but they're not going to have pizza on welcome to our website or welcome to our business on every single paragraph 5 times, right? They're gonna be telling about, you know, our family, you know, the pizzeria has been here for generations, for the 3 generations, da 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 da. They're not saying pizza. Where they are allowed to say pizza is when you get to the menu. So now you're in the menu. The crawling already knows this is a restaurant. Okay, so if this is a restaurant, they're gonna have a menu. And it's going to know that it's a pizza restaurant because it's gonna be coded as such, okay? And this is why it's important for you to, when you have your website, to pay for extra for that SEO, because normally those come with specific codings that it does in the background for you without you knowing to do this. Okay, now it does more technical SEO. You really don't, it does not come with ranked math, and it does not come with Google, or it doesn't come with Jost. They're very good, so you can have the SEO that you don't know how to code and how to do other things, and it gives you good information. Now, technical SEO, which that's what I do, I look at other things. I look at links. I look how relevant you are, how much your authority you're in worldwide, right? So it is a difference. So make sure that your website does have some SEO. Okay, they don't sell the technical SEO because technical SEO is a completely different thing, but it is not at the same time. Okay, does that make sense for everybody? Okay, so do spend the extra money, because what happens is that, like, let's say that you have the membership with me and you have that technical SEO. So now I can see what I see on my platform that is on your website, and let's see if it matches yours. Okay, so we just collect more data, and practically I should have everything you have plus a lot more. Okay, but it's a good base for you guys to make your own decisions of what needs to be done. Okay, so now we know that pizza, we're gonna have pepperoni pizza, we're gonna have mushrooms, and so on and so forth, right? So it will make sense when it gets scrolled that it's a menu, it's a pizza, and then of course the menu is gonna have 30 pizza words in it, right? So again, it is relevant to the section of your web page. Okay, so just so we can kind of repeat the same thing, but with another idea. Okay, so let's just create an idea more for actors. I just like the pizza thing because everybody can relate to pizza. Let's say for actors, you can have on your web page video demos. And you might want to word it however is for the acting industry. I'm not quite sure if video demos will be a thing for you guys. But on that section, you may have videos. Just make sure that, okay, so you make a video. The best way to do it is please do connect to YouTube, okay? Do. Okay? One, it helps for you to be more relevant to the world. Okay? You're not only existing on your website, but you're also existing somewhere else. Okay? And Eric Dickens earlier actually went over social media and how it actually connects to your website. And I'm sorry, I mispronounced his last name. Eric Deckers. I'm sorry, Eric. And he went over the social media and how it's important that it is connected to your website. Okay? So everybody on the business agrees that it has to connect to your website. And he had a great point, right? Like Eric actually said, your website is yours. You have control over it. It doesn't go away. Social media can go away, or it changes to a way that you might not be able or want to be in that platform. So, I love that comment. So, when you have the time, go back and watch that video, because I think that's a really good video to watch. Okay, so we go there, okay? So now on the videos, it makes sense, right? So connect it to YouTube, okay? It's the best way. Make sure that on YouTube, when you make a video, don't just make the video. Okay, so you're here, right? Like, yeah, I'm making a video and I'm telling people I'm wonderful and so on and so forth, right? Or you have your demos. You can have demos in there. You can have shorts of your own. If you've been on a show, if you've been a voiceover, you can have them on there. Just make sure you do a description of them. Don't just say, Shannon Scott at the Green Room Stars having fun. That is not what we want. I mean, great, you have fun.
It's not.
No. No, that doesn't tell me anything. That just tells me you have fun. I don't care if you have fun. I want to see that you have fun, right? So, how do you explain that to people? Okay, so be descriptive. Here at the Bright Stars Green Room, we're doing, and then be descriptive. What are you doing? Taking classes, taking acting classes, learning how to run my own business. Be descriptive, okay? If you have the opportunity and if you're okay with it, and then they're okay with it, you can actually say, I'm here with XYZ, okay? So make sure that you don't just put things out there, okay? Hashtags, don't overdo it. I think Eric had a great point too. Relevant to what you're doing. You're not gonna be doing hashtags if you're on set and you're working on set, okay, and you don't want to tell exactly what you're doing because maybe your contract doesn't allow you just yet, right? Then you say, hashtag on set. That's it. You don't have to say hashtag, and right now, let's say that something is trending. Let's say that pizza is trending right now. Hashtag pizza, just because you think that because it's trending is going. No, if it's not relevant to you, don't do it. Yes, ma'am.
Circling back to the descriptions on the videos. Am I correct me if I'm wrong? The descriptions need to be accurate more than they need to be fun titles.
Exactly. Right. So we go back to being relevant to what the video is about. Okay.
It can almost be boring if it's accurate.
Yes, so that's where we have to be careful, right? That's where marketing gets a little bit hard sometimes, because how do you make something fun, right? Like, I do technical SEO. I'm not really talking about technical SEO right now. If I sit here and I tell you all this stuff that really goes on technical SEO, unless you do what I do, you're not gonna care. Okay, so if I do, hashtag truth, but I will never do that because then it's not relevant to what I'm doing at this moment, right? So, what was your question? No.
Like, that's legit. What hashtag would you use?
Okay, so let's say this video is about SEO for actors in businesses, right? Their business. Hashtag business for actors. So, because that's what it is.
Is there a set number, as long as they're relevant, of hashtags that you should use before it's too many?
I don't like. Okay, so many years ago, when hashtags became a thing, everybody was using them. They were using them on their descriptions. They were using them in comments. So hashtags are like their own little niche. However, for hashtags, hashtags are very relevant to your whatever you're doing at that moment. They're okay. Okay. Now, check out the hashtag that you're putting in, because sometimes when you see a hashtag, it does, like, let's say that you do hashtag purple glass, if it's such a thing, okay? Check the hashtag before you put it on, because purple glass might be a business. Purple glass, it might be whoever started purple glass might have not necessarily had a purple glass. Maybe it was their dog. So if the person that started that hashtag, their dog was named Purple Glass, right? Most people using that hashtag, if the dog has a lot of followers, it's gonna be dogs. So why would you choose that? Right? So be cautious how you use your hashtags. Okay? Not because something is trendy, is relevant to you, unless you go to TikTok. TikTok is like the best thing for trends, right? You go to TikTok, so there's the dances, and you can do that, but you're not doing. How to explain this? You're not talking about yourself acting or trying to find a job or anything. You're just doing the trend. You doing this that is trending, and then it gets your name out. Does that make sense? Does everybody kind of follow what I'm trying to say? Okay, good. So we kind of got off topic, but I love it because that's what you're here for, like answering questions that you want to know the answers to. So maybe the board is too big. It doesn't stay. Yeah. It's okay, I'll pick it up. Okay. So, do you guys have any questions? No questions so far? Not right now? Okay. So let's move on. Okay, so we kind of covered that a little bit with the questions. We already talked about embedded videos, which is the YouTube videos. Ideally, you do it through that. I want you to think of this, okay? Who owns YouTube?
YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm. Who owns it?
They don't? It's not them?
When you go to Google,
Oh, it's Google, really?
and you see those stats, and you click on them, it gives you a list. Your email, Google Docs, and YouTube is there. So now that are you trying to, now that you see the process that is happening, you have a website, people Google it, you're on YouTube, right? So now you're making that connection, right? So think of it as when you make a cake, right? You have a base. Think of you being the base, whether it's your business or you as an actor has a business. You're the base of this cake. Okay, within that cake, you build from it. And then this is you being very happy because you made it to the top. Okay, but it takes time. Okay, it takes time because think of it as each section of this cake has different ingredients and different flavors, but they're all connected. And they all have to connect to you from here so you can get here. Okay? And it takes time. Okay? A cake should be baked the day before, I think. If you're a professional, you can bake it the day before and make a big cake, if you're a professional. But even certain recipes take time. Good recipes take time. A good cake, a good tasting cake takes time. Okay? It has to set. It takes time. And some cakes have different ingredients. So just think about that. Yeah, now we want cake. So we talk about the videos already. I'm not going to talk about the blogs and the new sections because That was covered in an earlier video today, which is excellent. He was right on point. Yes.
Other tips? Things to optimize. What was number 2 and 3? The bio.
So you have your bio, you have your speed.
Okay, speed was number 2.
We talk about speed.
Yeah.
And then with that, I'm actually you have to go back to that because we kind of rush on that one. So let me, and then the third one is the one that we were just talking about, YouTube and videos and everything. Yeah, the in-base videos.
Awesome, thank you.
So here is, again, going back to the optimization of what it looks like when you have a picture. So this is a picture. When you have a picture or several pictures, one, make sure your file is the right file. What do you think is that? Yeah. What do you think the file has to be the right file?
So it can read it right?
Yes, but not necessarily. So the reading, it's friendly to the web page. If you have a file that is really, really big,
It has to be JPEG?
it has to be.
It's not good?
It can, yes, but ideally it's this, and make sure your files are not big. If your files are too big, what's going to happen when it slows down your web page? You don't want to do that.
Question when you get time about that.
So don't be too.
Actually, might be relevant now.
Okay.
The Adobe ones that you pay for, that get the rights to, the files are so dense. Like they're just.
Yeah, they have a setting. They have a setting for specifically for web page or for not web page, but specifically for the web.
Okay.
Okay, so it takes that file. It takes all the good things from that file, and yeah, Adobe is made for artists. So Adobe is great, and it gives you great way to have beautiful pictures, edit pictures, so on and so forth. However, the files tend to be huge, but they also have a way for you to minimize them. No, when you save it. So if you can actually save your file different ways. Okay, so just make sure that you do that.
One more question
Yes.
about that. What about those like web files? Like they're like under the JPEG, so they're like really, really small. Like I don't know if it's web something.
Yes, they are. I wish we had my computer working. But yes, those files are great. So let's say that one thing that you want to do, okay, it is worth paying someone on Fiverr, okay, to do some of your files or to do some of your pictures, okay? Because what you're gonna ask them, because not everybody does it, like sometimes you tell them, okay, I want this photo edited, okay? And they're like, okay, here, it's edit. Make sure you ask them to have different saving ways, okay? For web, JPEG, larger file, just because sometimes you want a larger file. If you're doing a PowerPoint, right? No one is gonna, it's not going on the web. Your PowerPoint is not on the web. You're presenting it somewhere, okay? Then a file like that is fine. If your computer can handle it, go for it, okay? So just remember the city I draw, okay? A good way to remember is think of the city. Do you really think that the city needs more people? And yet we have more people in it, right? So what happens when we have more people? The places that you rent or that you own, they're smaller, right? So think of that as like the pictures being smaller because it's too crowded on the internet and it's going to slow down your web page as it loads up.
What's the number for pixel size for the JPEG? Or like the file, max file size?
It depends on what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's an easy lookup, by the way. I don't remember the top of my head, but it depends because it is all different. Okay, but you do want to keep it on the smaller side. Okay, so what I wanted to really talk about when it came to pictures more than anything, okay, is how you describe your pictures. So someone in here tell me, you have a picture, and not you, Shannon, you don't count. I mean, you do count, but not for this question. Someone in here tell me, you have a picture on your online presence. How are you describing that picture?
I could be doing better. I'm basically just saying like what it is.
Well, give me an example.
If it's a fluffy dog, I'm like fluffy dog smiling, fluffy dog looking happy, or fluffy dog next to a bike, something random like that.
How about you? I know you have pictures. Well, you have more than pictures, but
On what hand?
how did you
How do you label?
how are you labeling your pictures?
Right now, most of the pictures are labeled with a link to a video.
Beautiful. So you have videos on your site?
Yes. Well, if you click on the picture, it takes you to a video.
Why not have the video straight forward?
I mean, I think it plays it. It doesn't take you away from the website. I don't remember. I haven't looked at it in a long time.
And then you can do a mix. Right. The beauty of being an actor, right? Like, so what happens here, right? People are more likely to click on the video, to click on something when they know it's a video, than to read that it's a video with a picture. So the less steps they have to make, and that's a really kind of personal type of thing, if it's working. And you might want to do a mix, right? Some of them, they can just click it and then it takes them to the video. And some of them, they have to click the picture to take them to the video. But, most people, they just want to see, well, let's think about this. When you're online, how many times you click a picture to go to the video? Not many. So, so just keep that in mind. There's no real wrong. It's not really wrong. It's just I will do a little bit of a both if you like both. But the description for your, and I have a small description somewhere here now. It should be really easy, It should be, let's say it's for you. It should be, let's say that you're in your portfolio and it's a headshot, okay? So it should be Shannon, Scott, headshot. That's it. You may want, if it's a particular headshot, you can put, or you can headshot or actor, make sure you have like, you can do actor, headshot. And you can also do it backwards too. Okay, so what this means is when it gets scrolled, it sees a picture, in this case of a woman. There's Shannon, very happy. Okay. And then it's saying that this picture is a headshot of an actor called Shannon Scott. Now that you see what that is. Now you're telling them what to read, right? And then when the people go there, that's exactly what it is, right?
So that's the hidden.
No, this is, so.
Or Is that what they see underneath the photo?
Yes, that is what they see.
Right?
That's what they see underneath the photo, this. Okay? Now, it also helps that when it comes in and you have your name often, which you should avoid to have your name over and over and over again on the same page, okay? If you have Shannon Scott, if you have your headshot and everything else, make sure that you don't say, I, Shannon Scott, love fluffy dogs, da 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 da, because then now you're starting to stuff your website. Okay? Not because you're relevant to your website, it means that you can stuff your own name. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind. Especially when you name, you share a name with someone famous or someone not so famous for something bad, okay? Then now it's going to read it so fast as a stuffing, okay? So if it's another Amy Sanchez, and we have 3 more Amy Sanchez that they've been on the web, they got trendy for a little bit, or they're actors, or they're someone important, and you're just beginning, it's going to read it also as like you're trying to kind of steal their image, that you can think of it that way. So stuffing can actually be, it's not an ideal thing. So be very mindful when you are doing each page of not to stuff your own name all over. Let the picture talk, or let something else, your videos, your videos doesn't have to say Shannon Scott explaining how it went during her trip to Malaysia. You can say, here is my trip to Malaysia, because somewhere in here you already have Shannon Scott's videos to Malaysia. Does that make sure that makes sense? Yeah, okay, good. So no stuffing, okay? I mean, we like the cake, but we don't like to stuff ourselves with cake. Okay, so let's talk about, and I won't get into this very deeply because that's not what we're here for. But let's talk about what technical SEO does do for you. Okay, technical SEO is going to be able to tell you links that may be broken. Okay, broken links. So here's why, I don't know, how many of you have heard like, oh, you have to keep up with your website? Did everybody here have heard like, if you have a website, you have to keep it up? And how many times you think, they're just saying that because they want to make sure we sign up for something? There's a little truth to that, obviously. But the real truth to that is that your website can have a broken link and you are not going to know because you're too busy doing what you do, okay? So when you run analysis on a website, it will actually give you your broken links. So broken links. What other types of links that we can have on a website? And this is a good example. I had a client that it had links, right? But were they the right links to be going to or coming in? Who knows about incoming and outgoing links? So you have your links of your websites, right? Your website links with each other, right? Like, you make a big circle and your links menu makes sense, right? But sometimes people, how many of you link out to somewhere else that is not YouTube? How do you link out?
Depends on what I'm linking. Like sometimes if I have the functionality to be able to sync them, I do, but I don't always have that functionality. So if I can't, then I'll either like connect. I'll do like if I'm doing like a mail to, I'll like type in the thing for that. If you click like a button, you can click the button and then go. Or if I'm typing.
Well, okay, so that's something different, right?
Oh,
It is and it isn't. So
Like
that is more of like your mapping. You're talking about mapping,
yeah, that.
okay? Mapping has links, yes, they do, okay? And this is your website. Okay, so mapping does have the links, okay? And yes, there's a technicality of how you're supposed to work with those links. So linking out, you can link out to another person's website. But don't do it. But don't do it on don't do it on your homepage. Okay? That's what blogs are for. Newsletter, that's what they're for. Don't do it on your homepage. Don't do it on your information about you. Don't do it on your bio or your demos. Don't do it there. Okay?
You want to keep them? Is that why? You want to keep them on your homepage?
No, you do not want them on your homepage.
Like you said the link out. I'm just trying to make it.
Yeah, when you are linking out to another person, like she mentioned.
Yeah, you don't want that on your homepage.
No.
Or any. What was the list again? But the reason
You ideally you want them on your newsletter. Ideally, you want them on your blog.
Yeah.
That's the right way to link out. Okay? Because what's going to happen is that you are going to have, like, for example, a blog or a news blog. And I wrap it up very quickly now because it's getting boring. So you're going to link out. Let's say that you are talking about certain information, and then you have a link for those people to go to that information. That is a completely different website. That is not yours, but maybe you own it. It doesn't matter. But it's not living within your website. Okay? You link that out through the article. Because a lot of the times when you make articles, those websites change as well. So it's not living here.
Yeah.
It's living on your blog only.
The why behind why not to do that is because the links need break, not necessarily.
It's not best practices either.
Because
You don't buy link. Okay, so let's put it this way. What you're linking out to, or the links that are coming into you, and this is so important, please do take a note of this. The links coming to you, or the links going out from your webpage, must be, again, relevant to what you're doing on your website. Okay? If she's linking out to a construction site that has nothing to do with her acting, that like she's not specifying what she's doing, it's a no-go. If she has a construction site for some reason linking out to her, and she's not doing a commercial for them, then it's not relevant.
so it's more about the relevancy rather than pushing them away from your site.
Right.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
you don't want businesses that they're not relevant to you, because you know what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen. So here comes the crawling. This is the crawling guy. Okay. This is your website. And he's going to crawl your website, your business. Okay? And you are telling me that you sell flowers. So the crawling is looking for flowers and everything to do with flowers. everything to do with that. And then at some point, you might partner with another florist, or you might have a blog about flowers and where you have put the flowers at, right? That is still good for you. Okay, but you cannot link out to how to make balloons. And then people making balloons should not be linking to you unless there's a reason for it. Because then the crawling comes in and it's like, ooh, nope, this is not a legit business.
Okay.
And then what's going to happen is that, let's say that you are here on the listings, and I see it all the time. People think that they can have all these links and it's all good for them. Google comes in, Bing comes in. It's like, nope, we're just going to completely bypass this person until next year or whenever the crawling happens again. Yeah, so. Okay, so I'm just going to stop here because everything else is a little bit more boring. We cover a lot with the other presenters too. And is any questions for you guys that you might have?
I'm loving it. I'm not bored.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Any specific questions or anything that you might want to? No? Good. I mean, that's good. I know you can go on forever, but and I appreciate it. Don't. But yeah, so that's it, you know, without getting too technical. And I think most of the stuff you guys have probably have heard it before.
So
Now
I
you
have
know
one
how.
more question. How do we get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I have, let me see. Unfortunately, the PowerPoint didn't quite work, so let me write it down.
But don't worry, you're going to email that, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. But you can
If I
just
have
reach me
one,
at
send
Josie at, it's a little long, marketing group of Florida.com. It's long.
Josie at marketing
Group of Florida.com. I think that wraps it up. Thank you for listening. I hope that you took one thing and then you can put it to practice. If you have any more questions, let me know. I do specialize on do site become more relevant. I can, we make a list of what needs to be changed, suggestions. We give people keywords. We can actually look to your competitors. So if you're an actor, an actress that does a certain type of acting and you know who your competitors are, we can actually do a comparison of what they have in their site and what is working on their site versus what you're doing. Okay, so you at least can know what to do as well. All the right things that work for them can also work for you. Okay, so we have a lot of different tools that we can use to help you to optimize your site, really. But do not take the SEO out of it, please. Do have SEO on your webpage because it gives you more power to know if something is wrong. Okay, and one of the questions I get, so I have this other client. She just actually contacted me during the week, and she asked me, hey, I did some work for her a while ago, and she reconstructed everything for her business. So she's actually switching what she's doing to something else completely. And so I helped her with something else with her previous business, and she liked it. She saw results, et cetera, et cetera. This time, she decided that, well, I'm just gonna do the SEO through GoDaddy. I'm like, go for it. All I'm thinking is like, I know you're gonna come back because what they do is great and you should have it, but I know it's not gonna be what you really need in the end. So sure enough, she contacted me and she's like, hey, I need you to optimize my website. I said, do not take the SEO out of GoDaddy, please, because it does help you. It is actually working. You just don't know that it's working because think of it as I'm the energy drink you need to optimize that website. Okay? So you have your water, which is the SEO that you can add to your webpage. Okay? And then I'm just the energy drink to come and kind of just like pump you up. So that's how I can explain it. I don't know how else I can explain it to you. So thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing. Very, very helpful. I'll be emailing you.
Thank you.
That was really good. So helpful.
I wonder if my husband actually ended up watching me. He probably is like, are you there, Gary? Hold on a second. Let me see if I can unmute your thing, Gary. I think I can hear you. Well, I'll call you. Yeah, okay. Thank you for listening. I know that was a little boring.
It wasn't so good. I'm not blowing smoke. It
Oh,
was
thank
really,
you.
really good.
What do you think, Gary?
Tell my family.
Oh, okay.
It was very helpful.
Do you like
Good
it?
job. Yes, I did. Here, I can, if you want.
Oh, thank you.
I know where it goes if I can.
We just have to cover it. Sorry,
No, don't apologize for that.
I told Shannon, I'm going to take 30 minutes of 40 minutes.
She'll have to cut out my face.